Let's take a look at some cake packaging. The first thing I notice, other than the delicious cake of course, is the logo. I can see straight away the company that has made this cake. But there's also lots of other information here. For example, I can see straight away that this cake is high in fats and sugars. It also tells me how many people it serves and where to find the best before information, which is obviously quite important information. We need to know that this cake is safe to eat because it's in date. You can see the logo is repeated on the top of the box here as well, and it also tells you what it is. So it's got a name, but it describes the type of cake it is and the filling. And then you've also got photos of the cake cut open. Obviously we can see the cake because the packaging allows us to, but we can't actually see the inside of the cake. So these photos are quite useful for giving us that information. We can see that it's got a cream and jam filling inside. Now on the back we can see lots of information, lots of written information. We've got the ingredients, and what you'll notice is that allergen ingredients will be bolded out, so people that have got allergies can see straight away if there is an ingredient in this that they shouldn't be eating. We've also got nutritional information, so this is more detailed than the traffic light system on the front of the box. And we've got advice about the fact that we shouldn't eat too much of this type of food. It even goes on to tell you that the packaging is all recyclable. Something that's repeated throughout the packaging is the logo of the company that makes the cake. So let's think about our own logo design for our own company. Now there's lots of benefits to using ICT for your design work. There's loads of programs out there as well, some that are free. The one I'm going to be using here is called Canva. I've got a paid for subscription on this, but there is a free version. It doesn't necessarily give you access to as many of the graphics, but it's a really good program to play around with and quite easy to use. Now, one of the benefits of using IT to help you with your design work is, first of all, it's going to make your designs look more crisp, clean and professional. But something I really like about using this program in particular as well is that it enables you to experiment with different colour variations and layouts and font styles without being as time consuming as if you were drawing everything by hand. So I'll show you what I mean here. So I've started off with a really simple graphic because remember, you want your logo to be bold, eye-catching and memorable. If there's too much detail in it, it can become forgetful. So I've started off with a cupcake, but I'm not a huge fan of the colour pink. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the colour to like a purple colour. So here I'm clicking on, and straight away you can see it's changed colour. So instead of me having to draw it out again, I've got a purple. But I'm also thinking that I might be going to play with the colour red. So straight away I can draw comparisons about which I prefer, and I've decided I don't like the red, so I think I'm going to stick with purple colours for this logo. Don't delete your work off. If you're doing something similar, it's very easy to say, oh, I don't like that, so I'll get rid of that. Actually, I'd like to see that design process, so keep everything in. It's all valid work and it shows your development. The other good thing, like I said, is in terms of fonts. So font writing is a really high skill to demonstrate, and some of you guys might be really, really good at it. I'm not particularly great at it. I find I'm not as accurate as I'd like to be. So being able to use IT to create different fonts and play around obviously makes my life a lot easier. So this one's quite bland and boring. It's easy to read, which is a good thing. You want your customers to be able to read it, but it's not very creative or exciting. So I'm going to try this one, for example. This one looks a little bit more fun and it's still easy to read. However, if I was to change it to this one, when my computer catches up with me, you'll see that it's not so easy to read that. I've had to make the font size a lot bigger for you to be able to read what it says. So this might not be a great one, although it's quite creative. It might not be great for a logo that might be small on your packaging. So I could probably eliminate that. And then you can also play around with different shapes as well. So I'm going to put an arch onto this text so that it can arch over the cupcake as my logo. Again, my computer's slowing down on me. Wakey, wakey. There we go. So you can see here I'm going to go with the purple one. So what I'll do is move the font and then move my cupcake underneath it. And this is what I mean by you can play around with placement and positioning. If you've drawn this by hand, each time you'd have to draw it again. So IT is great for design work and in helping you to come up with lots of different ideas. You could quite easily, in a very short amount of time, fill a page with different logo designs. And what I would do is once you've done that, you could then ask friends and family to give you feedback on each of those designs and maybe eliminate some of them quite quickly, and then maybe focus on a few that are perhaps favorited by a few people to then develop on if you wanted to make further improvements to it. So, for example, that my feedback might be that it's okay, but it's not very exciting as a logo goes. It might need some more detail on it, or perhaps a more detailed image. Like I say, I don't think this one is as hard hitting as this one because there's so much detail. It's more like a photo rather than a logo. So we'll try again, see what else I can find. This one looks quite interesting. Obviously, I need to change the colour. I'm going to go with purple again. That looks a little bit more exciting than this one. So we'll swap it round so I can see if I prefer it. Yep, I prefer that one. And I'm going to change the colour of the font as well. I might go for blue because I can see these two colours together on the palette and they look like they complement each other quite well. And maybe I want to have an element behind it as well. So I could put that behind for a background colour.